By the end of this video, you're gonna know the fastest way to make your first $1,000 with Claude AI, and you'll have the exact prompts to start today. And this is coming from someone who owns a YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers. I've personally made over $10 million from YouTube using AI in almost every facet of my business, and I've helped my clients generate over $100 million in results. So I'm not giving you motivational stuff, I'm giving you a system here. And here is the promise. I'll show you how to pick something that people will actually pay for, how to build an offer so good that they feel stupid saying no, and how to land your first paying customers in days, not months, and not years. And the best part is Claude is gonna do most of the work for you. It'll write your messages, it'll build your offer, it's gonna make the content to attract clients and customers, and it'll handle almost all of the parts that make most beginners freeze up and quit. So if you appreciate me making this type of content and you want me to make more of it in the future, then let me know by gently cheersing that like button, and let's jump into it right now. Okay, so for section 1, we're gonna talk about starting where it hurts. And this is the step that pretty much decides everything else, right? You wanna pick something that people are in pain about. And here's the thing, there are basically 3 places to find something to sell: your passions, your professions, and your pains. Or really, other people's pains. But a lot of the time, if you've experienced the pain, it's just gonna be a lot easier for you to articulate that and understand it to help other people overcome that same pain. Now, everybody wants to start with their passion, right? I love gaming. I want to start a gaming channel. Now, let me be real with you here. I have watched way too many people fall into this trap, right? They start a gaming channel because it's fun, it's their passion. And then 5 or 10 years later, they've made 0 progress, $0. In fact, usually negative because they spent thousands of dollars on tech that they didn't really need. And they don't even enjoy gaming anymore because they took something that they loved that was a hobby that they could actually enjoy doing, and they tried to turn it into a business when they should have just kept it as a hobby. So don't do that to yourself, right? Now, I'm not saying pick something that you hate, right? There is a sweet spot here. If you've heard me talk about Ikigai before, it lives right in that intersection, right? Something that you're good at, something you can get paid for, and something the world actually needs. So I won't go deep on that here because I've done it in other videos before, but if you want the fastest path to $1, you start with the pain. Think about it like being a doctor, right? Nobody walks into a doctor's office and pays $300 because the doctor has a fun personality. They pay because something hurts and they want it to stop. The bigger the pain, the more they'll pay to make it go away. Money flows towards pain, and that's market demand. And market demand is just a fancy way of saying people are already trying to give someone money to solve this. You just have to be the one that shows up. So if money is already flowing in a certain direction, it's kind of like water, right? You just need to put yourself in the stream. But what a lot of people do is they go to the middle of the desert and they're like, oh, I want to build a river here where there's no money, right? Where there's absolutely no money. And that's usually not a good idea, right? So don't try to be a market maker, just go where the pain already is, go where the money is already flowing, and put yourself in that place. Put yourself in a position to make some of that money. Now, by the way, I did want to mention something. It literally does not matter any type of business or side hustle or whatever way you're trying to make money. They all work, but the problem is they all need traffic, right? You need actual eyeballs from people that are interested in whatever that problem, service, product, etc. is to know that you exist in order to be able to buy something from you. And what I always recommend, especially to beginners, but even to more advanced business owners, because I just think it's the absolute best source of traffic, is YouTube. I've personally made over $10 million from YouTube. My clients have made over $100 million from YouTube. And we did it using what's known as the hybrid personal brand methodology. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking of how you're gonna make your first $1,000. You probably wanna pick something that you can talk about on YouTube. So a lot of the time, one of the exercises that I have my community members go through when they're trying to figure out what their niche should be is what I like to call the time machine exercise. So if you had a time machine and you could go back in time and you had, let's just say 15 minutes to tell your younger self information that would save your younger self a massive amount of time, effort, money, heartache, etc., what would you tell yourself? Write all those things down. Okay, literally write all of them down. If you need to pause this video, do it. Then look at those things you wrote down, and chances are your ideal niche is literally one of those things, right? In 95% of cases, a person's ideal niche is literally already inside of them. Like it's in their past already. Whether it's a profession, right? Something that you've already spent a bunch of time doing, or something around that profession, like for instance, how to get the right certifications to get into the profession, or how to get the right college degree to get into the profession, or how to get really skilled at the profession, something along those lines. And in many cases, it might involve pain, right? Bad things that have happened to you previously, very painful experiences that you were able to overcome. And you can help other people overcome those same painful experiences. So in many cases, if life gives you lemons, you can turn that into lemonade. So a good example of this is Josh, right? Josh took something that most people think is boring, IT and cybersecurity, a literal profession, and built it into a channel making $185,000 in a single month. And this was before he even hit 100,000 subscribers. Why? Because companies are in pain about cybersecurity and they pay a fortune to make that pain go away. There are certain positions out there in cybersecurity where there simply is not enough people who are skilled enough to do those jobs. It's just that simple, right? And so you can teach people a basic level of these skills and get them jobs in these companies really, really easily. Okay, so here's how to start. Open Claude and paste in this exact prompt, right? We're gonna put it up on the screen. You can just screenshot it and paste it into Claude, right? Then just fill in your information, let it interview you back and forth, and then pick the idea that makes you go, oh, people would definitely pay for that. Now, this is a simplified version of what we do with our clients. We literally just interview them back and forth. We get that relevant information from them, and then we just have a conversation back and forth at which one we think would be the best for them. But this is a great place to start, right? So definitely give it a try. With that being said, we are having a live training this week where we will give you a Claude skill version of this. It's called the niche validator that is significantly more advanced than this prompt. And it's been trained on thousands of hours of coaching calls with our clients, helping them actually dial in their niche and pick their right niche. So we'll be giving you that Claude skill. We'll be walking you through exactly how to pick your niche. We'll also be giving you a step-by-step guide on exactly how to start a YouTube channel and personal brand to get clients for whatever business you're starting. Because if you have a YouTube channel and a personal brand, literally any business that you try is going to work. And then at the end, I will answer literally any question that you have. So click that link in the description in the pinned comment below, and I look forward to seeing you there. Hey, quick break. I'm going to be doing a live training this week on how to start a YouTube channel step-by-step for beginners. This is going to be for people who want to start a channel, but they don't know what niche to pick, what videos to make, or how to actually get started the right way. And it's a completely free training, no strings attached. In fact, I'm giving away even more bonuses at the training. So just as an example, I'm going to be giving away my niche validator. This is going to be available both for ChatGPT as well as Claude, which is a super valuable piece of software where you can finally figure out what the best niche for you is. So do not miss out on this training. Make sure you sign up for it down in the description and the pinned comment below, because you only get it if you join the training. So if you don't join now, you might miss it. But that being said, in the workshop, you'll get to meet me, and you'll get to ask me questions directly. So I look forward to seeing you in there. So click the link in the description and the pinned comment below, put it in your calendar. And if for whatever reason you missed out on it or you weren't able to attend, make sure you still click that link, because we might be having workshops in the future as well. And you'll be the first to know about it. So yeah, hope to see you there. And now back to your regularly scheduled content. All right, next we're gonna talk about how your offer does the heavy lifting. Now, you know what you're solving for here, right? You know your niche, you know the problem that you're helping people solve. Next, you need to build an offer. And I need you to hear me on this. The offer does most of the heavy lifting, right? Get the offer right and selling becomes almost easy. Now, most beginners obsess over their logo or their website name or what their website looks like or their brand colors, whatever the heck that means, right? And they completely ignore the only thing that actually makes someone pull out a credit card, which is the offer. So how do you build a great one? Well, there's a framework that I love for this, and I want to give credit where it's due. This one comes from Alex Hormozi, and he calls it the value equation. And here's how it works. The value of your offer goes up when two things go up: the dream outcome and what they really want, and how likely they believe they will actually be able to get it. And value goes up when two things go down: how long it takes and how much effort it costs them. So a weak offer is, I'll help you maybe lose weight eventually if you do a ton of work. That's slow, uncertain, and painful. A killer offer is, I'll get you this exact result fast, and I'm so confident that I'll guarantee it, and I'll do most of the heavy lifting for you. For instance, let's just say I'll, buy your groceries for you or something like that, right? So that they don't have to shop. See the difference here? You crank the dream outcome and the certainty up, and you crush the time and effort down. And suddenly, people would feel almost stupid saying no. And when your offer is that good, you don't have to be the cheap option. You can charge premium prices, higher ticket prices, because you're not selling a commodity anymore. You're selling a result that nobody else is promising. Now, by the way, I should say here, of course, you could sell a physical product. You could sell an info product or like a group membership on something like school. You could also do a coaching program or something along those lines. But I've just found that the easiest one for beginners, if you're trying to make your first $1,000, is to just sell a service, right? A business owner or somebody else has a problem that they want somebody else to just deal with, right? They don't want to be taught how to solve the the problem, like with the course. They don't want a coach helping them solve the problem in most cases because that takes time and effort. They just want the problem to go away. They want to give you money and the problem goes away, right? Think about it like this. You might really like burritos, right? If you want a burrito, are you going to buy a course about how to make burritos? Are you going to hire a coach who teaches you how to make burritos? Probably not. Are you going to hire a coach that teaches you how to make burritos? Probably not. Are you going to go to Chipotle and just order a freaking burrito and then have somebody else make it for you? Yeah, that's probably what you're going to do, right? Or maybe you're going to go to the store and buy frozen ones or something, right? But that's generally speaking what you're going to do. It's just way easier to sell stuff like that, right? It's way easier to sell a service where somebody else does something for you, especially for beginners. But coaching offers work really well too in certain niches. And I've just found time and time again as well, it's just so much easier for beginners to just charge high ticket, just charge $1,000, for instance, for your very first client, and then just give them one-on-one attention. It's just so much absurdly easier to sell than like a course, for instance. Like you already have to have a massive amount of authority in order to sell a course. You also have to have a massive amount of authority to sell digital products even. And you'd also have to sell a bunch of digital products. If you're charging, let's just say $20, well, you're going to have to sell 50 digital products to make $1,000. Whereas if you're just doing a service for somebody else, you are just carrying out a service that they need done, you can easily charge $1,000 and make your first $1,000 very, very quickly by doing that, right? So a great example of this is Sean, right? Sean was kind of selling like an automated course and he was making decent money, but we helped him change his offer and make it a lot more attractive. And he got all the way up to over $500,000 a month. And a massive part of that was just nailing the offer, right? Same person, same skills, but dramatically better offer. So here's how to get started with this. Paste this into Claude. We're going to put it up on the screen. Just copy and paste it and then just answer all the questions it asks you. I do recommend going back and forth with it. And by the way, always use the voice feature. Like don't ever type to AI, just use the voice feature and just talk to it. It's just so much easier to do that. And then it'll figure out which type of offer you should do. There are several different types of offers that you can do, and it'll hand you an offer that most people would pay a consultant thousands of dollars to build. And by the way, guys, I just want to say one other thing about like service related businesses. So services literally make up the majority of the economy, right? And if you don't believe me, just ask Claude or any other AI. You'll see that globally services account for about 66% of global GDP. So that's, 2/3. But in high income countries like the United States, for instance, it's 77% of GDP. So the richer the country, which you do want to be targeting rich countries if you can, the more service dominant the economy is. So yeah, probably just start with a service and start by charging $1,000 because all you have to do is get one client, one customer to make your first $1,000. It's a no-brainer. All right, section 3 is to sell the destination, not the flight. Okay, you've got the problem, you've got the offer. Now, how to talk about it changes everything. And this is something that I see so many people mess up on, right? Sell the destination, not the flight. Let me give you my favorite example. Say you're selling a trip to Thailand, right? Let's just say you got hired to be the head of the Thailand Board of Tourism, right? You're the head marketer. By the way, Thailand is one of my favorite places on earth. My partner and I vacation there a lot. We love it, okay? But if you spend the whole time talking about the 24-hour flight from the United States, the cramped seats, the fact that you might get stuck in the middle seat between two other people, the potential layovers, the bad airplane food, nobody is gonna buy that trip, even though that is the reality of what's actually gonna happen in most cases, right? But if you show them the beaches, the crystal clear water, the food, the sunsets, the experience, now they're reaching for their wallet. Same trip, but completely different sell. You sold the destination, not the flight. And this is where I see so many people mess up on, especially in the AI space. Because chances are, if you're doing some sort of service, you should probably do a service that's either AI related or AI augmented, right? Meaning AI is going to help you actually carry out the service. Because that's really where the opportunity is right now. And it would make absolutely zero sense for you to not do that. But I see so many people messing up on this in the AI space. Now, a lot of people that do AI are pretty intelligent, they're kind of smart, and they're also very nerdy about AI. And so what they'll do is they'll make this long video where they explain all the little intricate details of the AI. And they might even tell you step by step exactly how they set up some very complicated AI process, right? And then they go and make these super technical, super boring step-by-step tutorial videos. And here's the problem. The people who actually pay, right? The people who would actually give you money are way too busy to sit through a dry, 45-minute technical tutorial. That video feels like the 24-hour flight. It does not feel like the destination. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to gatekeep here. I do think that you should give people real value. You should show them your best stuff, but instead of boring technical how-to, show them what's possible. Show them the result. Show them the destination. That's what makes someone go, okay, I need this person to do this for me, right? Give them enough information that if they wanted to, they could figure it out on their own. But if they work with you, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier, and it's going to happen faster, and it's going to be better. Now, this is a little bit different in every niche, but the principle never really changes. People don't buy the steps, they buy the outcome. And if you don't believe me, just look at car advertisements, right? When people are advertising a Jeep, for instance, are they going to tell you how many pounds of steel and aluminum and rubber are in each of the Jeeps? No, they're not going to talk about that stuff. They're going to show you the fact that you can drive it on a road, but you can also drive it off-road. You can go do a picnic off-road with your family. That's what they're going to show you, right? The outcome, you being happy with your family. Lots of room, lots of space for you to bring food and an entire picnic setup, and your family being super happy because they have everything they need. Now, they might get a little bit technical, right? They might tell you how many miles per gallon you're getting. They might tell you how safe it is, for instance, but they're not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of there's exactly 376 bolts in this Jeep, and there's exactly 1,762 pounds of steel in the Jeep as well. They're not going to talk about that stuff, right? If you really want to know, you can probably go look it up online, but they're not going to talk about it in the advertising, right? And you shouldn't either. And this is the mistake that I see so many people make. So focus on the outcome that they're going to get. Do not focus on the process of getting to that outcome. Do not sell the 24-hour flight. Sell the beautiful beaches, the smiling people, the amazing food, etc., etc. Okay, so here's how to start. Drop this into Claude, screenshot it, I'll put it on the screen right now, and then instantly turn your boring feature talk into I need this destination language, right? You can go back and forth with it a little bit, but this is always how you should describe your offer whenever you are talking to your clients, right? Do not be that nerd that goes through all the nitty-gritty details. You are going to repel people if you do that. And again, if you need more help figuring out how to actually communicate your value to people, go ahead and attend my live workshop. Click that link in the description in the pinned comment below. All right, next we're going to talk about the first 5 customer machine. And this one is big. And this is the step that actually puts the first $1,000 in your bank account. And it's where Claude becomes an absolute cheat code as well, right? So I'm going to show you how to get your first 5 customers, and I'm going to be giving you the prompts for every single step. So here's the part that so many people get wrong, right? They think they need an audience first, right? They think they need to go viral first. And no, you don't. You've already been building your audience for your entire life, and you didn't even know it. Because the fastest money is hiding in a place that you already have access to, your own contacts. So here's the engine. First, you build a list, 3 lists actually. Email contacts, social followers, and phone contacts. So list 1 is going to be every contact in your email. List 2 is going to be every follower that you can DM on social. And list 3 is everyone in your phone. Add those 3 lists together, and I promise you, you have way more leads than you think you do. Now, don't freak out. We're not going to be weird about this, right? We're not going to spam anybody. We're going to do this like a normal human being. Second, I want you to pick one platform, whichever one has the most people on it, right? That's where you start. So it could be your Facebook, your Instagram, your email list, whatever. And then third, you reach out and you personalize it, right? You take 30 seconds, you look at the person and you mention something real. Hey, saw you got a new job. Hey, congrats on the baby. This is just being a person, right? You're not blasting a copy paste message. And here is your first prompt, because writing these one by one is exactly the kind of thing that makes people quit. So let Claude do it. Okay, putting it up on the screen, you can copy and paste it and put it into Claude. Now, fourth, when they reply, you warm them up, and there's a simple little flow. You acknowledge what they said, you give a genuine compliment, and then you ask a question that naturally leads towards the problem that you solve. Because you're having a conversation with them, you're not selling anything. Then here's the move that makes the whole thing click. You don't pitch them. You ask if they know anybody that needs what you do. Okay, so you're asking for a favor, you're not asking them to buy. It takes all the pressure off of them. And a bunch of them will either refer someone or they'll quietly raise their own hand and be like, hey, I could actually use that myself. And when someone is interested for your very first few, you can do it for free. Now, I know what you're thinking, Shane, you said I was gonna make my first $1,000. Why would I ever work for free? Well, here's why, okay? You're brand new, and let's be honest. you're not that great yet, okay? You're working with your first few people for free, and it does 3 things for you. It gets you reps so that you can actually get good. It gets you killer testimonials, and it gets those people telling their friends about you as well. So you just ask for those 3 things in return, right? Make sure that they agree that they're gonna give you a testimonial after you do it. Of course, if you do a good job, and make sure that they agree that if you do a good job, they'll actually recommend you to 3 people as well. And make sure that they agree that they'll give you honest feedback on your work, right? That is the trade that you're making. And quick tip here, if someone won't even take it for free, don't get discouraged. Ask them why. Their answers may reveal the hidden reasons that people don't buy. They're literally giving you market research for free, right? Usually companies have to pay millions of dollars to do market research. They're literally giving you that market research for free if they tell you that they're not interested. You can literally just ask them why and ask them to please be honest. I'm not going to get offended or anything like that, right? So don't get discouraged here. Ask them why. And their answer reveals the hidden reasons that people don't buy. And once you know those, you can remove them and charge a premium later. And that objection is a gift. So a great example of all this is Carla. So Carla barely had 1,500 subscribers on YouTube, and that's basically nothing in YouTube terms. She was only getting about 100 to 200 views per video, and most people looking at her channel would have thought, she's probably wasting her time. But she actually closed a 6-figure contract by posting on YouTube. And it's not because she went viral, it's because she had a real offer and she actually reached out to talk to people. So she had a small audience, but she got massive results from that audience. Then once people start referring you, that's your green light to start charging. And you don't jump straight to full price, you climb, right? The next client will be $1,000. You can charge $1,000. Now, by the way, you don't have to do it for free. In many cases, you can just charge $1,000 right off the bat. But if you're getting rejected a lot or you're just too afraid to do that, do your first client for free. Then the next few clients can get a big discount, right? Start at $1,000. Then a smaller discount, you can go up to maybe $3,000. And then you can start charging $5,000, $10,000, whatever you want to charge for whatever service you're offering. And if you don't believe you can charge that much, trust me, you can if you find the right audience, okay? Like I said, Carla landed a 6-figure contract from YouTube. So she charged 6 figures, over $100,000 to a single client. And the entire conversation engine, well, Claude can run it. Here's the prompt to build your whole sequence. So just screenshot this one and put it into your Claude and answer their questions. And there you go.
Quick break. This video is sponsored by me. Most of you don't know that I actually have my own coaching program on personal branding, growing YouTube, and making money on YouTube. And this is for complete beginners. Maybe even people who want to get a job by growing their personal brand, all the way to people who are very advanced at YouTube, right? And they get to work directly with myself and my team to help them reach their goals. Now, we're going to be opening up 3 to 5 spots, and this is pretty rare. We usually don't have these open. We usually only limit them to select people, but we're opening up 3 to 5 spots, and you can check those out down in the description and the pinned comment below. And in this program, you'll get to work directly with myself and other people who are highly successful on YouTube. Just as an example, Sean was able to go from being stuck on his channel to making over $500,000 in a single month on YouTube. Now, that's an example of one of my more advanced students, but there's lots of examples from people who got to 5K a month or 10K a month when they started off as complete beginners. So check that out in the description in the pinned comment below, and I look forward to seeing you there. Now back to our regularly scheduled content.
All right, next section, we're gonna talk about how to absolutely pour gas on this. Now, by this time, you probably made your first $1,000, but let's just say you wanna absolutely ensure that you're gonna make $1,000, right? We just wanna turn this tiny little fire into a roaring inferno, okay? So now we're gonna scale, right? And there's a specific order to do this, and if you get the order wrong, you might waste months, okay? So you don't wanna get the order wrong. So you already did step 1, warm outreach, that got you moving. Now you can make content. And this is where YouTube comes in, right? You start making videos that talk directly to your target customer and solve their problems. And the beautiful thing is you can take that content and syndicate it everywhere, right? Shorts, posts, the works. One video can become 10 pieces of content. Now you might be thinking, well, Shane, isn't gonna take me a long time to close my first customer and actually make money? Well, here's the thing. There's only a limited number of ways to get clients, okay? So you basically have warm outreach, which is reaching out to people that you already know, right? So you've been basically building that audience for your entire life, whether you knew it or not, right? So that's people that added you on Instagram or Facebook or your email list, right? Literally people that you've just emailed back and forth with, et cetera, right? And also people in your community too. Then the second way of getting clients is cold outreach. So this is reaching out to people that you don't know. So you could cold email them, you could cold DM them, you could cold door knock them, you could cold call them, et cetera. This is also very effective, but I'm telling you right now, like this is one of the most difficult ways to get clients, right? You really have to have incredibly thick skin to do this. I do recommend that everybody does it at some point in their life, but most people that do this don't really stay with this very long. They want to get away from from it as fast as they possibly can. The next way to get clients is to run paid ads. So this is where you give either Facebook or Google or YouTube your money and you blast out your marketing to a bunch of people and you hope that you get a return on your ad spend or ROAS that makes it worth it for you. Now, paid ads is very effective, but it's exceptionally difficult to start if you don't already have a proven offer, and it's very expensive and it's incredibly competitive. Some of the smartest people in the world are already doing paid ads, so it's super competitive. Then the next way of getting clients is referrals. But in order to get referrals, you have to have other people that would actually refer you, right? So obviously that's going to be really hard for a beginner. Then the last way of getting clients is through content. This is inbound marketing, right? HubSpot became really famous by talking a lot about inbound marketing, and they really changed the game when they made the business world aware of how powerful inbound marketing is. And by far, the most powerful type of traffic when it comes to inbound marketing is YouTube. And the thing is, you can of course do the warm outreach for your offer if you want to, but you could also, if you want to, just skip that and go straight to making content. And the reason that YouTube is the best is because YouTube is where people go to consume long form content. And something you really want to remember is short form content is great for getting attention, and it's also great for kind of just reminding people that you exist. But long form content is where the money's at, right? Long form content is where you actually make money. And the most beautiful thing about starting a YouTube channel, and what I like to call a hybrid personal brand on YouTube specifically, is you can treat YouTube as the mother platform, and then you can syndicate your content to all of the different platforms. And you can do this pretty much semi-automatically, right? There's a lot of great tools out there, including many of them in Claude, you can do this semi-automatically with, and then you can send those viewers back to YouTube, right? And so it's just such an incredibly powerful tool. Now I could get a lot deeper into exactly how to do that, which I do in my live training, which is completely free. Click the link in the description, the pinned comment below. But this is where YouTube comes in, because you start making videos that talk directly to your target customer and you want to solve their problems. And then that's how they're going to start watching your content, but you want to turn them from being a traffic source, right? You want to go from traffic generation to lead generation. And the definition of a lead is somebody who is potentially interested in buying your product or service that you can actually contact, right? So you can't contact people that just watch your YouTube channel. They can contact you, but you can't contact them. However, if you get their email address, you can then contact them. And a great example and a great way of doing that is to have what's known as a lead magnet. So this is where you create something genuinely valuable for them and you give it away for free in exchange for an email. So it could be a checklist, a mini guide, a template. One of my favorite ones to do is literally just making AI, right? So either GPTs or Claude skills that have already been trained to solve a problem that the prospect is likely having. Now, another one of my favorite ones are my live trainings, right? When you attend my live training, I am going to get your email. It's going to be super valuable as well. And then a small percentage of people who attend my live trainings will actually end up working with us. But with that being said, here's how to start when it comes to creating your lead magnet. Screenshot this one that's on the screen, answer the questions, let it interview you, go back and forth with it, and you will have a great lead magnet. All right, last, let's talk about the rules that are going to make you rich. So these are the rules that are going to turn your first $1,000 into something way, way bigger. And rule number one is the riches are in the niches. The more specific you get, the more specific you can charge, generally speaking. Now, I help people get fit is weak. One of our clients who makes over 8 figures a year helps French dads who are typically high performers. So we're talking CEOs, executives, doctors, lawyers, etc. And they're also quite busy, lose belly fat without having to spend that much time so that they can have more energy and spend more time with their family, right? That is how unbelievably specific he is with his offer. And that is an 8-figure offer. He makes 8 figures a year. And this is my client, Thomas. Now that's an example of how specific you need to get if you're in a very saturated niche such as fitness. But let's talk about a way less saturated niche where the niche itself is niche enough to where you don't really need to get that specific. And that's my client, Nicole. So when I first met Nicole, she had about 85 subscribers and we helped her scale all the way to $80,000 in a single month. And all she does is she just helps people get into what's known as GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance roles. So this is a cybersecurity related career, but it's a little bit less technical than the average cybersecurity related career. And it's more on the making sure you're compliant side of things. And she was able to scale her channel to over 60,000 subscribers now, and she's made over $80,000 in a single month. Rule 2 is you want to charge premium, right? So raising your prices doesn't just make you more money per client, it actually makes people take you more seriously and it helps them get better results because now they've got skin in the game. So do not try to be the cheapest option. If you're the cheapest option, you are essentially commoditizing yourself, right? It's a race to the bottom. And in 99% of cases, this is not the way to go. Now, there are some advantages if you are actually the cheapest option, but if you're the second cheapest option, there's no advantage to that. Whereas if you're the most expensive option, you have a huge advantage. And if you're the second most expensive option, you also still have a huge advantage over being the second cheapest option. So basically, stop trying to be the cheap option in 99.99% of cases. It's not going to go well for you. Rule 3, and this is the mindset that changes everything, be obsessed with getting better, not with getting paid right away. Because here's the truth, when you learn a genuinely valuable skill, it's like giving yourself a permanent 6-figure raise. The skill doesn't go away, it pays you for life. So the first $1,000 isn't really the prize. The skill you built to earn it, that is the prize. And the last one is my favorite, and this is a line that I think about all the time because it's so true. A focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius. So this is a meme that I really love, and I call it the midwit meme. It's also known as the bell curve meme. And basically this just shows that sometimes the smartest people and the dumbest people in terms of functional IQ just do the same thing. Because the dumb people keep things simple because they can't do things complicated, like they literally don't have the capacity to do it. And then the smart people keep things simple because they know that keeping things simple is the smartest thing to do. It's the midwits, right? And by the way, this isn't necessarily for IQ, this is functional intelligence, right? That's the way I see it. So these midwits here, these are people that are actually very intelligent in some cases. Like they, like their IQ might be 120, 130, whatever. But they are the people that actually overcomplicate everything, right? And they'll spend all their time thinking about what the right thing to do is instead of actually taking action and doing it. So a focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius. You do not have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to pick one thing and not get distracted. And most people lose not because they're not smart enough, but because they're doing 12 things at once and finishing none of them. So pick your problem, build your offer, run the engine, stay focused, and you are going to absolutely crush it. Now, I know that 99% of you watching this are just going to watch my free content. You're going to enjoy it. You might attend my live trainings as well, and you're going to enjoy that free content too. You can even ask me questions in the live training, right? But we're never going to end up working together, and that's completely fine. But for the 1% of you out there that do want my help growing your YouTube channel, figuring out how to properly monetize your YouTube channel and build a proper offer from it, and you want myself and my team to work with you one-on-one directly, either doing it with you, so basically teaching you how to fish, but doing it in a one-on-one capacity so we can teach you how to fish as fast as we possibly can, or just literally doing it for you, where we literally just fish for you, then go ahead and book a call by clicking the link in the description in the pinned comment below. We're very limited with who we work with. We only accept about 18% of people who try to work with us. So only book the call if you're very serious about growing and making money on YouTube. With that being said, the types of people we typically work with are business owners, both online owners, as well as some types of in-person owners. For instance, we've been working with a lot of realtors, law firms, financial advisors, and cosmetic dentists, these types of businesses. Also YouTubers who are getting a lot of views, but they're struggling with monetization, YouTubers who are crushing it, but they want to crush it even harder, and people who are experts or professionals that want to treat YouTube like a business, right? So you don't want to have to spend 3 years banging your head against the wall, trying to figure it out on your own. You just want to treat it like a business from the beginning and start making money as fast as you possibly can, right? If that sounds like you, go ahead and click the link in the description in the pinned comment below to book a call. And also check out this video right here where we go over exactly how we help Thomas fully automate his YouTube channel for his 8-figure business and make more money.